Well, good afternoon. Happy Thursday and welcome to our webinar today where we're going to take a look at the change management capabilities within Windchill. And one of the great things about change management is that it will support a digital thread strategy. So basically, one of the challenges in making changes is getting people to approve and understand those changes so that you can move along quickly with your projects, get products to market faster. And that's exactly what you can do with Windchill. We're going to take a closer look at this today. So leading the webinar today is Shane Rigger. Shane is a solutions consultant and applications engineer with PTC at their Virtual Center of Excellence. Shane, thanks a lot for being on today and helping us. And we can see your screen and you can take it away.
All right. Thanks, Rob. So like Rob was mentioning, we're going to be going through change management, Windchill change management, and this is all around having your information in one location, making sure you can carry out any changes you have, and the workflows help throughout the entire process for that. So firstly, what I'm going to do is go through a quick PowerPoint, cover some challenges, the solution, capabilities, and then we're going to go into a demonstration itself to show you what the change process would actually look like with those different process objects. So some of the challenges that we see in the industry starts with a lot of what our customers are facing are dealing with slow and inefficient change processes. And this really stems from the fact that it's actually pretty difficult to make sure that you get all the information required for a change in one location. So not just talking about like raw CAD data, but you also need to be able to have awareness for why you are making the change, what needs to be changed. And of course, there's a lot of different stakeholders when going through a change, and you need input from them. And it can also be very difficult to understand the status of a change. So understanding where you're currently at within a change, what changes still need to occur, and also the ERP or MES systems could be out of sync from your engineering teams. And when that happens, you're not really taking into account all of the information for a change. And the solution to that, behind that, is with Windchill's change management process, which is, again, what we have for change management. It's a way to be able to organize your change process and make sure everybody has the information that they need to be able to carry out any changes. Now, moving in more to the capabilities around the change management. So for you're seeing now, this is an example of a workflow within Windchill. There are some out of the box ones, but they're really configurable. So any workflow that you need to configure, you can use the drag and drop interface to do so. It's very flexible for that. And then you're also given visibility that you need throughout a process. So you can use the picture as on the right here as an example. So anytime you open up an object within Windchill, you're given quick visibility into the current status of it in terms of the changes it's going through. So for example, you can see that there's a little red triangle in the upper right-hand corner, and that's showing that there's currently a change going out on this object, as well as the change process information down below, which I'm going to be covering. And then, like I've been talking about, having all the information within one system, this gives you full traceability. Whenever you're moving from version, we'll use the example here, A.9 to B.1, and all the changes that have gone in between those, you have the traceability, who made the changes, when they were made, why they were made, all within the one system. And then within Windchill's change management, there's two different ways that we approach changes, one being fast and then one being full. So the fast is obviously just simplified oversight. Those just get pushed through the process a lot faster. With a full change, this is going to and can include a change review board or change implementation board. It starts with a problem report or a deviation or waiver. So with the problem report, what this does is it can put into Windchill to let designers know that there are some issues or problems that have been reported to a particular design or a product. This is optional. And then also deviation or waivers. Those are optional. So this is just saying that there's a temporary change to a process or a product. Then you have change request. This is where you're actually requesting the change and gathering information on what resources would it what resources it would take to accomplish the change. And then with the change notice, this is where you're actually committing people and resources to make the change happen. And then we'd like to close the loop on that. So once you're actually done with the change notice, then you close out your change request and then close out your problem report. And you'll see in the demonstration very early on how Windchill allows you to have traceability between these different objects when you're going through a change. Okay, so now I'm actually going to go into the demonstration itself. Like I said, what I'm going to be covering is the change process, those different objects like I was just showing you, and how you have traceability throughout, and then also how this change process within Windchill allows any user to know exactly what they need to be doing in terms of the task that they have assigned to them, and then all the related information to those tasks. Okay, so starting out within the Windchill home screen, this is just a user's home screen. We're going to work our way into a product that we're working with. And within that product, understand the changes that are currently out against this object. So from here, the first thing you're seeing are those three different stages I was just showing you within the PowerPoint. So your problem report, change request, change notice. So we want to start from the beginning. On this object, we want to know how this actually started, what information they found, and we're going to work our way through that. From the problem report and through all the change objects themselves, you're going to notice that they're very similar throughout. So from here, it's going to give you high level detailed information. So you can even see like system information, who created the problem report, when it was made. That's really great for traceability as well. If you ever need to go back to that user who created the problem report, any attachments that were included within this. Again, not just CAD documentation. Here's a great example for Word documents. So no matter the file type that they need to incorporate or bring into this problem report, they have the flexibility to do so. And then what's also really valuable, especially for users that generally don't have this type of information, let's say it's a manufacturing, a shop floor worker, and they're out on the shop floor, they recognize an issue with a part. What they can do is open up Creo View, make annotations on that part, specifying exactly what they found with the actual accurate dimensioning for that part, and then include that within the problem report. It's saved here. It's in the one location. Everybody that needs to have access has the access. And then also what's included, the affected object. So any affected object that they found could be impactful for this change. And then also, of course, end items, process objects. So here within the process objects section, the table here, this is going through the PowerPoint I was showing you from your problem report, you're linking to a change request. That's what you're seeing here. So you have full traceability, being able to link back directly to the change request. And like I said, they're very similar throughout with the change request and the problem reports. So here, a lot of the same information, but this is where you're actually starting to build out what it would take to make that change. And then similar to the problem report, you can also create those same sort of visualizations and annotations within your change request. This is keeping it consolidated. Everybody's using the same software and everybody has the same type of visualizations as one another. So here you can see the resolution to the change was to increase the diameter size. And then you can, of course, begin to work through that change, building out your implementation plan within your change notice. So now we're on that third stage. Like I was, again, referencing back to the PowerPoint, we're on the change notice. This is where it's actually being planned out. You have your process. So this is where a lot of the different processes and teams are going to be managed for this. This is the workflow for it. So this routing and process history, this is showing the workflow that this change is actually going through. You can see they can be quite extensive. They're all configurable. So if you need to change any of them at any point, it's a lot of drag and drop to make something like this. And then moving into the implementation plan for your change notice, this is how it kind of stands out from the other two objects that we have viewed. So from here, you can see that there's different change tasks that would be assigned to users. And then also you have states for these objects. You can see the first two have been resolved. The third one's in implementation. And then also on the far right, there's different options that you would have in terms of sequences, and then also a visualization to show you where you're currently at within those different tasks. So this is a really great overview, especially if you're a manager, to be able to have a view like this. And then you can even dig into the tasks themselves to see what resolution that the person came to. So from the change task, you can see affected objects. So what objects were actually affected during the change, the resulting objects for that. And then from this view, of course, this allows you to run comparisons to compare the versions, see what's actually changed within those objects. So not only being able to have the understanding of what changed, but then compare them to what has existed. And then let's say you want to interrogate the model a little bit further and maybe go through a review. You can open the model directly from Windchill into your, in this case, Creo parametric, to actually understand the change that happened. So if you remember within the change, within the task itself, it was to increase the diameter size. So from our tool, we can get our summary and see that that dimension was actually changed. So again, that helps with the confirmation of any task or reviews that would be completed. Now, moving past the process objects for a change, so your problem report, change request, change notice, there's going to be tasks assigned to users. And a big benefit of using something such as Windchill to manage this type of process is that you can automatically assign tasks to users. This is not a manual process. So you're going to have different users. They're going to have different tasks automatically assigned to them. And then Windchill's going to guide them through that process. So you've defined your process, and this is guiding them. So from this task, it might be to update a design. In this case, what we're going to be doing is actually updating our manufacturing bill of material. And this is all using the BOM transformer. So from this, we're moving from our design BOM, EBOM to our MBOM. And from the BOM transformer, you're going to see that it's letting us know which objects need to be updated. And then also what's really valuable is you can see in the bottom that there's visualizations. So not only are you getting the actual bill of material, but the visualizations, so you know exactly what has changed within that product. So from here, like I said, we're tasked with actually making the change to the object, updating the MBOM to be on the most recent version of our design bill of material. That's what we're doing here. The BOM transformer makes it very easy. We select on the objects, update that upstream relevancy link, and then you're going to see the visualization is automatically updated as well. So it's maintaining the visualization for your objects. And now that we've made a change to our bill of material, again, following Windchill's the guidelines that you've set for your users, you want to make sure it's checked back in, and then a comment can be left, of course, to make sure everybody knows what happened between that change. Now, going back to the change task, this is where you can leave any comments. So within a task, leave your comments to what the change actually was. And you'll see there's also routing options that can occur within a change. But in this case, we were assigned a task. We need to complete the task. And then you can also have e-signatures as well. So another layer to confirm that the correct user completed the correct task. And then once, of course, users go through those tasks, you can review them. Again, this could be a different user getting assigned this review, but of course, we just went through that change ourselves. So in this, what you would be doing within your review is actually going through your affected objects, your resulting objects. I mean, once you complete that review, you're doing something similar to what we just did, leaving your comment. And then I had mentioned there's different routing options. And this is where the workflows are really beneficial. So if we selected rework, this is automatically going to get sent back to the user who created it to rework that object. It's not something manual have to do, so the automation really helps in making that a lot easier. And then finally, between this change, it could be to audit the change notice. So again, this is a view that allows you to assign a task, making sure that everything is actually being audited in the one location and then relating all the information to one another. So here you can see all the impacts for your audit, and then you can begin to go through any changes that would be needed. So setting effectivity dates, setting the states for those objects. From here, you can see that we can work between the resulting objects that were done within the change task, set the effectivity for that, and it's all allowing for automation as well on the back end. So once you set that date, it's automatically going to do that within that date, or even your date range if you set a range for your effectivity. And then like you've seen throughout this entire process, each object has its own state. Then from here, you can set your state, making sure that it's actually being released when it needs to be released. And then you could do this in mass. So you have an object list. From here, you can see they have different target states. You can set them individually, or like I said, in mass to be released. And now working back into our product structure, now that we've completed our change task, another couple valuable tools to have. One is the comparison. We saw a comparison earlier, and what this will allow us to do within the structure here is to compare different baselines or histories of our objects. So with the baseline, the way that works is you could create a baseline at any point in time, or you can even work off the history, the automatically tracked history of your objects, and do a quick comparison as well, right within the same tool. So here we're doing a comparison for version 8.1 to B.1. And then from this, you're going to see firstly in the center, it's showing you things such as attribute differences, child differences. The visualizations even are updated as well. So this comparison tool gives you a really great breakdown to those different bill of materials that you're going to manage and the history for those, and giving you traceability throughout that process. And then wrapping up the audit, similar to what we've been doing, is leaving comments confirming that everything has been done to the tasks that have been assigned to us, and then letting the workflows complete everything as necessary, allowing Windchill to guide the users within it, making sure that they're following the process as it should be followed. There's no overriding work. Everything's maintained within the one system. And before I wrap up, I want to talk about how this is going to bring a lot of benefit to anyone using the change process within Windchill. So firstly, it allows you to make faster and more accurate responses to any, whether it be internal or external pressures. There's increased change management efficiency because everyone is involved and they have awareness of what they need to do within the Windchill system. And then also, of course, like I was mentioning, managers have full visibility into the processes and can make changes as they need to. And that means you're going to reduce your scrap and rework because you are able to make sure that people are working with the correct components and that they don't have to make, or that they don't make bad changes in the process. And that ultimately leads to a better quality product for your customers. Okay, and that's all I had to cover for Windchill's change management.
Excellent, Shane. Thank you very much. The recording will be emailed to you tomorrow at some point, and so you can have access to that and rewatch this at your leisure, or share it with a colleague. But if you have any other questions, or you want to see a more detailed demonstration on Windchill change management, if you want to understand more about the digital thread, especially if you're a company that's making a complex product, having a digital thread strategy and Windchill integration into your daily workflows will definitely, to manage your daily workflows, will definitely increase your productivity. I mean, we're seeing this with our clients. We're seeing our clients have a lot of success, and that's very exciting to me as well as to the rest of our company. So if you want some more detail, feel free to email us at info@3hti.com, or you can respond to the email invitation that was sent to you regarding this webinar. So next week, we're going to have a Creo webinar next Thursday regarding GD&T, general, gosh, I wasn't, I wasn't planning to, I guess explain, or I thought lost the acronym for GD&T. It'll come back to me. But basically it's a general dimensioning and tolerancing. There it is. Sometimes I get stage fright. So anyway, thanks everybody for being on. You'll have that recording soon, and have a great day. Take care.